I have never seen anything like what I am about to play for you. Kanye West went on something called Drink Champs and delivered one of the most anti-Semitic rants against the Jewish people that I have ever seen in the sort of modern media era, short of actual Nazis. And it's basically there. Kanye West in controversy lately. I won't go through the entire thing. He's a musical artist. He was recently wearing White Lives Matter gear. And then he went on the Tucker Carlson show and said a whole bunch of stuff, including anti-Semitic stuff, which got cut out, but which we ultimately obtained and looked at last week. Let's go through this. And I'm telling you, I have not seen anything like this in the modern era, short of from overt white supremacist Nazis. Let's just jump right in, and I will stop it and talk about some of the things he says.
We made the White Lives Matter tees, and then when I put up the tweet, the DEF CON tweet, nah, he ain't releasing the tee because he's Jewish. And I'm like, see, this is my exact point that I'm making. Like, Jewish people have owned the black voice.
What? Jewish people have owned the black voice? You know, it's interesting because Kanye's recent thing over the last few years has been black folks have no one to blame but ourselves for slavery, which is like a crazy thing to say. But now all of a sudden he's actually found something better. His first thing was black folks, we should just blame ourselves for everything bad. Now he's actually saying, oh, you know, it's Jews. Let's blame Jews. The truth is Jewish folks have been one of the premier partners for black folks in the United States to demand and obtain equality, rights, self-determination. Jewish folks have been killed, in fact, defending and supporting black folks. Remember the movie Mississippi Burning? About the murders of black rights activists in Mississippi? Sometimes people see the names and they get confused because the victims were James Chaney and Andrew Goodman and Michael Schwerner. And people will look at that and say, Goodman and Schwerner, those aren't exactly typical black names. That's right. They were Jewish men from New York City because the Jewish activists were so intertwined with the civil rights movement. The history is so intertwined. Kanye is way off track. Now let's continue.
Whether it's through us wearing a Ralph Lauren shirt.
Okay. Ralph Lauren shirts. So I realize that for me, all this stuff, I'm familiar with every one of these things. But for a lot of people, they don't know. What Ralph Lauren, what do you mean? Why Ralph Lauren? Ralph Lauren, the designer, was born Ralph Lifshitz, a Jewish guy from New York City. So Kanye says, wearing Ralph Lauren, it's another way in which Jews are controlling us. Well, why not Tommy Hilfiger? I mean, black folks, like other people, also wear Tommy Hilfiger. Well, Tommy Hilfiger isn't Jewish, so it's not interesting to Kanye. Ralph Lauren is Jewish, so that is more interesting.
Or it's all of us being signed to a record label, or having a Jewish manager, or being signed to a Jewish basketball team.
What is a Jewish basketball team? He doesn't mean an Israeli. I mean, there's an Israeli professional basketball league. That's not what he means. Does he mean a team where the owner is Jewish or the general manager, or what is a Jewish basketball team? And, you know, there is this, for people who care about this stuff, there is a very important historical story about how Jews were pushed into certain professions. There were all sorts of industries in which Jews were just not allowed to participate. And what happened was there was a period where the industries Jews were allowed to participate in were the ones wherein the sort of learning and training could kind of happen on your own, like a bunch of Jews not allowed to do a whole bunch of other stuff. They could get together and talk about, you know, whatever. Is it the law? Is it whatever? And so the very discrimination against Jews created an environment in which Jews were pushed towards certain industries. The conspiracy to control those industries is where it gets completely anti-Semitic. But there is a discrimination history that talks about and explains why you saw Jews pushed towards certain industries. Anyway, this stuff is really nuts.
Or doing a movie on a Jewish platform like Disney.
Okay. What is a Jewish platform like Disney? Walt Disney was not only not Jewish, he had a reputation for being very anti-Semitic. Walt Disney. So I don't know how it's now a Jewish platform. Like the current president of Disney is Bob Chapek. Maybe he's Jewish. I don't know. I don't know whether Kanye knows that. It's really nuts.
And we understand it's like I respect what the Jewish people have done and how
What have they done?
they brought their people together. You know, they came into money through the lawyers.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
When after Wall Street, when
What does that mean after Wall Street?
when all of the like the Catholics, they wouldn't divorce people.
So that's truly bonkers. Jewish lawyers came into money by divorcing people when the Catholics wouldn't. I found no evidence of that.
So the Jewish lawyers came and they were willing to divorce people. That's when they first came into their money. So like say with me and Jay, with our culture, with the darker Jews. First of all, because you got
It just happens when anybody starts talking deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the darker Jews, the 12 lost tribes of Israel. Who
So remember, I explained this last week. This is the Black Israelite stuff. Black Israelites are a group that believe they are truly the Jews. It's often a very racist set of beliefs.
we are, because we Jewish also. We from Africa also. We're the blood of Christ. So
Now, if you're confused by that last line, it's bonkers. I won't even get into it.
we're not just black. We are Jew, just like the Jewish people. And now we're coming into money. But the main thing is, I got to drink the Douce over the Hennessy as the first step to us coming together, like how the Jewish people came together. But we couldn't even talk about. I remember Ben Horowitz called me after 444 and said, I don't know about Jay giving up Jewish business secrets. And these secrets.
Okay. Ben Horowitz, I mean, listen, there's no evidence that happened. I guess it's hard to comment on something so insane.
He's talking about building up the properties and stuff like that.
Yeah,
on 444.
these secrets can't, they not finished.
What he's arguing is that Ben Horowitz, who's a venture capitalist and Jewish, presumably because his last name is Horowitz, I'm assuming, he's saying he called up Jay-Z when Jay-Z was starting, I guess, to make investments in real estate. I assume by Jay he means Jay-Z, and told him that's a Jewish business secret. Right. Buying real estate, that's a secret. I have never seen anything like this. I have never seen anything like this. And you can, of course, say, oh, it's simply mental illness. Well, sure. I mean, he sounds mentally ill in a lot of different ways. But he has become fixated with Jews in a way that is reminiscent of the worst of the worst of the worst anti-Semites. We will have that clip on our Instagram at David Pakman Show. Hard to find a true word in that segment. Right now, many of us are asking ourselves, what's the best way to help the people affected by the recent hurricanes? And the truth is, giving them cash is one of the best things you can do because cash is so cost effective. When you give families cash, you're also empowering them to choose for themselves how to best improve their situation. And I've talked before about our sponsor, Give Directly. Give Directly is a nonprofit that just lets donors like you send cash directly to families who need it the most. Give Directly is a great organization I've been following for years. A lot of their focus is on impoverished families in Africa, but right now Give Directly is also allowing you to send cash directly to families impacted by Hurricanes Ian and Fiona. During Hurricane Ian, more than 2.5 million people were ordered to leave their homes. Expenses are rising. They need food, shelter, transportation. Hurricane Fiona hit Puerto Rico on September 18th. More than 12,000 people displaced. The island is still in a state of emergency, and people need help. Visit givedirectly.org/Pakman to learn more and send money directly to someone who needs it. The link is down below.